Hello, all you lovely people. I can see you signing in from all across Canada, the UK, and a surprise visitor from South Africa. Welcome to our special program celebrating Women's Institute Day. It is my pleasure to declare this to be Women's Institute Day, February 19th, 2021, celebrating 124 years of service to home and country, and also to commemorate the 102nd year of Federated Women's Institute of Canada formation. Our Tweedsmuir histories have recorded many memorable celebrations, good works and tribulations over the past century, but I think the year 2020 to 2021 with this COVID-19 pandemic will go down in the annals of our history. Fortunately, our organization is quick to learn, adapt, and move on, proving that adversity creates strength. It is ironic that change has been the theme of the last 3 triennials. Marie Kenny said, planting seeds of change. Linda Hoy said, making change count. And mine said, women inspiring change. Ladies, be careful what you ask for. So here we are, embracing new modes of communication, trying to carry on with our mission and mandate while staying safe and happy. In these daunting times, however, I feel that the isolation we have experienced with our members, family, and friends will eventually create a powerful need for our wonderful organization. Whenever we reach a new normal, soon, I hope. You are not here to listen to just me. My board, presidents from the provinces, and other guests have created a program that will give you a little insight on what makes us all tick, and also their chance to blow their horns. I will begin our program by reading our famous Mary Stuart Collect, followed by a rendition of O Canada. Keep us, O Lord, from pettiness. Let us be large in thought, in word, and deed. Let us be done with fault-finding and leave off self-seeking. May we put away all pretense and meet each other face to face, without self-pity and without prejudice. May we never be hasty in judgment and always generous. Let us take time for all things. Make us grow calm, serene, and gentle. Teach us to put into action our better impulses, straightforward and unafraid. Grant that we may realize that it is the little things that create differences, that in the big things of life we are one. And may we strive to touch and know the great human heart common to us all. And, O Lord God, let us not forget to be kind. Thank you. Oh, here's a surprise guest, a newcomer to our organization.
Hi, my name is Bizzi, and I'm thrilled to be here with you to celebrate WI Day. As some of you may know, I'm the mascot for the FWIC WI Canada project, Hearth is Where the Home Is. The project was created in April of 2020 with 2 purposes. 1, to connect members from coast to coast, and 2, to share what we were doing during the pandemic. We really appreciate the many submissions and hope you have enjoyed reading the stories from members from across the country. Though the submissions have been published in WI Connections or in social media, the committee felt a more permanent collection should be made. Plans are underway to create an e-book to make a lasting keepsake of our time during the pandemic. If you have not submitted a story, you can still do so by sending it to Judy at judyqwi@gmail.com. Watch for me in the next issue of WI Connections. Now, on to our celebration.
Okay. Next presentation. Map of Canada here. Next presentation will be from our fascinating Junior Past President, Linda Hoy, who now holds the position of Canada Area President for ACWW. I say fascinating because of the tiny hats she makes and wears on special occasions. She is also a professional photographer and will share her message and special talents with us today. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Today, I'm pleased to join you as we celebrate Women's Institute Week. I'm not here as your Associated Countrywomen of the World Canada Area President or as a past president of FWIC, but as a Women's Institute member. And I have put together a pictorial of photos that I've taken from across Canada that I hope that you will enjoy. And don't be offended if there's some, scenes there that you don't like, because Madam President asked for some dancing and some wine in these pictures. So,
yes. Making me hungry. Oh, Edmonton, 1921. Wow. Oh. FBI. Very nice gentleman. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at us. That lovely red soil. For shot. Everybody's busy. Ah, Newfoundland. Very nice time. So sorry we can't go there this year. Oh. There's some dancers. Ah. Mm-hmm. Nice. Mm-hmm. Cute clown. I see some dancers. Mm-hmm. Wow. Hmm.
You mean give it to me? No, nothing's happening. Okay, so.
Mm.
Oh.
Love your outfit, Linda.
Here. You got sound? Yep. Okay, so you need to sit here. What's happening? How come nothing's happening?
I think Linda's screen might be frozen. There we
Okay.
go.
I can hear them now.
I don't know what's working because there's nothing.
So in case you haven't noticed, Linda looks like she's a very professional photographer and loves taking photographs.
You got sound?
Tell you, every time I look through those pictures, I found more today and yesterday, and it's just great memories. They're all across Canada.
Some beautiful quilts too. I love the Willie the Worm, Linda.
So if we tried the camera, it would show me. Eh?
Well, it might bring the mic on too.
Oh yeah, there I am.
There you are, Josie.
That's on.
Yes.
We don't have a mic.
Dresses.
She's got a headphone and mic.
Mm-hmm.
Those my cows?
Probably.
Look. Oh, look at that. Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's just a sound, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
I can hear them.
Great quilters. Raising money for their hospital. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Ooh, great shot, Linda. Great shot. The ladies in red, the people are crazy about the ladies in red.
Your bales of hay are coming up soon, Joan.
Oh, there's my truck. That was my full-time job. Fires. That was a nice one, Linda. Oh, that's the Lieutenant Governor. Our bra purses, weren't they cute? Oh, jeez. Oh, here we go. Peace Garden. That was a very beautiful spot. Yeah. In all our glory. Here we go. A lot of years of service in there. Good shot of the butterfly. Great.
Hello.
So thank you, Joan, for asking me to do that. As I said, it really brought back a lot of good memories from all across Canada, and you're all friends in Canada and the UK and Australia, wherever we've gone. So, and it is now my extreme pleasure to welcome our world president from the Associated Country Women of the World, Magdie de Kock. Magdie's from South Africa, and Magdie, like the rest of us, has not been able to visit the areas this past year because of the COVID. But we welcome her virtually today, and we're hoping to have her with us for our virtual Canada Area Conference, July 12th.
I guess that's it. I'll just listen to that now.
Welcome, Magdie. Would you like to bring greetings?
Yes, thank you very much, Linda. And a very good afternoon to everyone. To you, Madam President, Joan Holthe, all the presidents of the various Provincial Women's Institutes of Canada, all the members, not only from Canada, but from other places of the world as well, whom I have noticed this afternoon. And of course, a warm hello to my fellow board members in the audience. I am indeed privileged to have received the kind invitation to share in today's celebrations. Thank you once again. Yes, it's true, the current international travel restrictions prevent me from visiting ACWW member societies all over the world. But new technologies are transforming my life and giving me the ability to attend your special celebration today. I was looking so much forward to visiting Canada last year, and I planned actually to extend my attendance of the area conference to travel to parts of Canada which I have not visited on previous visits. And now, thanks to you, Linda, and your presentation of a pictorial trip across Canada, I now feel much closer to my dear ACWW members, and I was now also able to admire your beautiful country. Yes, you are celebrating Founders Day, and celebrating this occasion is actually celebrating the very essence of your Federation's mission. Back in 1897, Adelaide Hoodless had a dream, not only for herself, but for the many women who followed her over the years. To capture, to appreciate, to proceed with the work of the Women's Institutes of Canada. And today, it is a well-known fact that Women's Institutes continue to advocate for domestic education, but it is clear you have also expanded your activities to include support for community improvement projects, environmental conservation, environmental conservation, and equality across genders, and speaking on behalf of families of all kinds, while partnering with sister organizations across the world. May you always honor the legacy of remarkable women who inspired you to be the united voice for women's institutes across your beautiful country. So, on behalf of ACWW, I wish you a happy Founders Day. And while I'm speaking to so many of the members, I would like to invite you to join me next Tuesday on the 23rd for a cup of tea. And if you would like to do that, please contact our office in London and they will send you the link. And I hope to see many of you having a cup of tea with me. But like I said, please have a wonderful and a happy Founders Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Magdie.
Thank you, Linda, for that walk down memory lane. And also thank you, Magdie, for your message. And I'm sure many of us will be attending your tea. It was a treat the last time, and I'm sure it will be again next week. So thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule. We'll move on to our next presentation. I'll just wait till the slides change here. Okay. The province of Ontario is home to 2 museums honoring our founders, Erland and Adelaide Hunter Hoodless. President-elect Margaret and Provincial Representative for Ontario, Mary Shortt, will introduce the videos highlighting these buildings.
Thank you, Joan. On the first picture that came in, I'd like to say thanks to the many donations received for the donors. We were able to start phase 1 of our renovations project in 2019, and this photo is part of the kitchen renovation. The next one, we were able to use the Education Center for our 2019 FWIC 100th anniversary celebration and the AGM. The next one, you can see that we have the ramp. That's the entrance to the office of FWIC and the museum. And the wheelchair accessibility ramp allows more people to join us. And then we have the flags flying. Of course, we have the gazebo at the back, the pavilion that we can rent out once the COVID-19 restrictions are gone. And then we have, due to the COVID-19, Kathy and the staff were able to reopen for tours following the Brant County Health Department's COVID-19 restrictions and safety regulations, including personal protection equipment. Unfortunately, we had to close again due to the government restrictions. So that picture is of the dining room, and you can see that the plastic was put on top, which allows us to clean it and keep it sanitary. The next picture was museum assistant Lisa and a volunteer Rowan showing the parlor at Christmas. And the Addie's Buy a Brick program continues to need your support so that we may finish phase 1, which is certifying the kitchen. So thank you very much for all of your support. And I'm just going to move on to the next slide.
birthplace and childhood home of Adelaide Hunter Hoodless, a remarkable Canadian woman who became one of Canada's most respected social reformers. At the time of her death in 1910, she was one of the most widely known educationalists in Canada. She was responsible for raising the level of education for girls by advocating the teaching of domestic science and technical education in the public schools. And she eventually started the Normal School of Domestic Science and Art to train teachers. She is also credited with helping to establish the YWCA, the National Council of Women, Victorian Order of Nurses, and she was the visionary behind the formation of the Women's Institute. The homestead was purchased by the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada in 1959 to establish a historic house museum in honor of Adelaide. It was restored and furnished to reflect mid-19th century life in rural Ontario. The homestead speaks eloquently to the lack of amenities, hard labor, and isolation experienced by many rural women, a situation Adelaide spent her entire life trying to alleviate. While most of the artifacts at the homestead were donated by Women's Institute members, there are a few original items. The pink dishes that are on the dining room table, a silver tea service, the bear paw quilt that is on Addie's bed, and a cherub pocket watch holder which belonged to Addie's father. In 1960, the Historic Sites and Monument Board of Canada declared Adelaide to be one of Canada's most eminent citizens, and the Ontario Heritage Foundation commemorated the homestead as the place of her birth. In 1995, the homestead was designated a National Historic Site because of its concrete linkages with the contributions of Adelaide, a champion of maternal feminism. But how did it all begin? How did someone from such humble beginnings achieve national recognition at a time when women's traditional roles were in the home? It is truly an incredible journey how Adelaide broke through the barriers of Victorian society to accomplish so much. It is indeed a testament to a determined woman ahead of her time. Addie attended a one-room schoolhouse just down the road from the homestead and later went to Ladies' College in Brantford. While attending school there, she met and fell in love with John Hoodless. John was a furniture manufacturer from a well-respected Hamilton family. The two were married in 1881 and moved to a lovely home in Hamilton called Eastcourt. They began having their family, and Adelaide became involved with church and other volunteer organizations. John and Adelaide had 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, Edna, Muriel, Joseph, and John. It seemed the idyllic family life for the young couple until tragedy struck in 1889. Their youngest child, John, died of what was then called stomach complaint. Adelaide did some further investigation and found out that her beloved John had died from contaminated milk. She was appalled. Having grown up on a farm, she knew all about the proper storing and handling of milk and couldn't believe that the city dairies did not adhere to the pasteurization process. She was determined to make change and ensure that this never happened to another mother again. Her first step was to lobby the Hamilton Dairy to have pasteurization of milk made mandatory, and she won. Adelaide did not stop there. She recognized the need to raise the level of education for girls, which would not only benefit them in their future endeavors, but would also help to raise the standards of living for their families. Her next step was to have domestic science introduced at all levels of schools, eventually succeeding in getting courses into the school curriculum across Ontario and Canada before 1908. Between 1894 and 1896, she gave over 60 addresses to school boards, teachers, and other groups to help champion her cause. She wrote the first textbook for domestic science, commonly known as the Little Red Book. In 1897, she helped Lady Aberdeen in the formation of the Victorian Order of Nurses, and that same year, she made a speech to the Farmers Institute, advocating for women to have an opportunity to form a rural organization similar to that of the men. Erland was so impressed, he went home and told his wife Janet, and they invited Adelaide to come and speak to a group of 100 women in Stony Creek. Right after Adelaide's speech, the group decided to formulate the Stony Creek's Women's Institute. This organization grew from one branch to the formation of other chapters all across Canada, becoming one of the largest organizations and voices for rural women. Adelaide died suddenly in 1910 on the eve of her 53rd birthday while giving a speech in Toronto. Adelaide Hunter Hoodless was truly a woman ahead of her time. She was on the forefront of the feminist movement, paving the way for the likes of Nellie McClung and Agnes MacPhail, who came after her. She was a remarkable, innovative woman who helped women achieve greatness. Her early introduction of domestic science helped open the door for women to take advantage of other educational opportunities in the fields of medicine, science, and beyond. Adelaide was a true heroine who had the conviction to stand up for what she believed, who saw the need for change, went after it, and achieved it. Her legacy touched the lives of every Canadian citizen and continues still today. At the Homestead, by telling her story, we give everyone the opportunity to appreciate her contribution to our history.
Historic site located in Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada. Home to 6 generations of the Lee family, it would become the birthplace of the first Women's Institute worldwide. Our story begins with a log cabin built by John and Mary Lee for their family in 1808. It was within these 4 walls that they raised 11 children. Abram, the youngest son of John and Mary, would bring wealth and prosperity to the Lee family. Abram and his wife Jemima were proud parents to 3 children, Marcus, Maggie, and Erland. At the museum, you can have a behind-the-scenes tour of the Lee family home, including areas that would have been off-limits to visitors in the 19th century. Erland and Janet Lee were both educated, affluent, and happily married. Erland and Janet raised 2 sons, Gordon and Frank, who would have spent their days working on the farm and their evenings reading or studying. Erland and Janet also raised 3 daughters, Marjorie, Hilda, and Alice. These young women were given all the tools to be domestic housewives, but they were also given the education and opportunity to grow up to be successful in many different ways. Adelaide Hoodless was the inspiration for the Women's Institutes worldwide. Erland Lee invited Adelaide Hoodless to speak at the annual Farmers Institute Ladies' Night about her idea for a Women's Institute. Shortly after this first meeting, the constitutions and bylaws of the Women's Institute were handwritten in the Lee family home. The primary goal of the Women's Institute is educating women with a strong focus on community service. It is exemplified by their motto, for home and country. The Erland Lee Museum home is a significant part of Canadian history and a one-of-a-kind location. Over 2 centuries of Stony Creek history is encapsulated within these walls. To learn the full story, visit the museum for yourself or purchase a copy of the Welcome to the Erland Lee Museum Home DVD. Thanks for watching.
Here is the story of the beginning of Women's Institute. These and other stories are available through the FWIO's digital collection that makes accessible the many documents that WI have curated across the province of Ontario and allows researchers around the world to learn about the Tweed Smear community histories in Ontario, conduct family research, and discover the wonderful work that has been created by WI members. The Constitution was written in response to the first Women's Institute meeting held on February 19, 1897. At this meeting, Adelaide Hoodless spoke to 100 women about creating an education society for women. Here are the minutes of the organization meeting held February 19th. Mr. Erland Lee was chairman of the meeting, and an address was given by Mrs. John Hoodless. Moved by Mrs. Nelson and seconded by Mrs. E. Lee, that we organize a Women's Department of Domestic Economy in affiliation with the Farmers Institute. Carried. It was decided that the name should be the Women's Department of the Farmers Institute of South Wentworth. The following officers were elected. Honorary President, Mrs. John Hoodless. President, Mrs. E. D. Smith. First Vice President, Mrs. Nelson. Seconded Vice President, Mrs. J. Dean. Secretary, Mrs. M. Nash. And Treasurer, Mrs. J. H. McNeely. The Women's Institute Constitution was hand-penned by Janet Lee, wife of Erland, in the dining room of their Salt Fleet Stony Creek home, which is now the Erland Lee Museum Home and owned and operated by the Federated Women's Institutes of Ontario, and the location of the office. She was assisted by her husband, Erland, as well as E.D. Smith, whose wife, Christina Armstrong Smith, was the first president of the Women's Institute, and Major F.M. Carpenter, whose wife, Catherine, was a charter member. The Women's Institute Constitution, bylaws, and first meeting minutes were incredibly significant because of the Women's Institutes were the first group to represent the concerns of rural women in government, and for most of the 20th century, the WI was the principal voice of rural women in Canadian government. The Constitution was ratified by the women at the meeting on February 25th, 1897. This remarkably simple and effective Constitution remains largely intact even now, almost 125 years later. Here are the minutes of February 25th. Meeting held at Squires Hall. Name of society discussed. Moved by Mrs. F.M. Carpenter, seconded by Mrs. Nelson, that the name be changed to the Women's Institute of Salt Fleet. Carried. The Constitution and bylaws, as prepared by the committee, was submitted. After the Constitution was read, it was moved by Mrs. Dean, seconded by Mrs. Nelson, that said Constitution be adopted. Carried. Letter read by Secretary from Honorable John Dryden to Secretary Erland Lee in reply to a request for a grant. Address by Mrs. Wilson, who gave an interesting paper on foods. Directors were then appointed. Moved by Mrs. Carpenter, seconded by Mrs. Pettit, that Mrs. Erland Lee be a director. Carried. Moved by Mrs. McNeely, seconded by Mrs. Nelson, that Mrs. C. DeWitt of Tapleytown be a director. Carried. Moved by Mrs. Marcus Lee, seconded by Mrs. Dean, that Mrs. F.M. Carpenter be a director. Carried. Auditors were then appointed. Moved by Mrs. Nelson, seconded by Mrs. McNeely, that Carlotta Orr be an auditor. Carried. It was also moved and seconded that Mrs. Dr. Thompson be an auditor. Carried. It was decided to hold meetings once every fortnight, Thursday afternoon at 2:00. Signed by President Mrs. E. B. Smith, Secretary M. E. Nash. While Janet Lee was forced to give up her teaching career upon her marriage to Erland Lee, she continued to educate others, albeit in a different capacity. Her efforts during the early days of the Women's Institute served to establish it as the first organization to educate rural farm women 2 decades before women had the vote. The Stony Creek Charter Branch Women's Institute still exists today and holds an annual meeting in June at the Erland Lee Museum, last year by Zoom, and fundraise for the preservation of the Erland Lee Museum home, notwithstanding the pandemic. Anyone can be a non-voting sustaining member for $5 each year. If you are interested in being a sustaining member and join this year's annual meeting, contact Marian Austin. Thank you.
unmute myself here. I thank you, ladies, for that presentation. So many members of across Canada and the world have not had a chance to tour these fine facilities. So we hope everybody's enjoyed this little snapshot and a taste of our past. One day we will welcome our visitors again. I just have a little bit of trivia for you. Does anybody know which is our most farthest northern women's institute? I'll tell you the answer to that later, so you can look it up or see what it is. But anyway, most northern women's institute in Canada. Okay. Our next presenter is Ruth Fenner, a past president of BCWI and an FWIC Woman of the Year awardee for 2018. She is also an avid historian with facts and figures at her fingertips. So go ahead, Ruth.
Ruth, you're going to have to unmute yourself so that you can speak.
Born in 1868 in Collingwood, Ontario, Margaret Madge Rose Robertson Watt was destined to become a writer, wife, mother, visionary, and an organizer. As a girl, she was a great student. The fact that she had a retentive mind was a bonus for one with a thirst for knowledge. She enjoyed her girlhood, participating in many sports, swimming, cycling, football, and camping. Madge graduated from the University of Toronto with a Master of Arts degree, and by that time was also known as a writer of some note, with articles in magazines on both sides of the Canada-United States border. At university, she met and fell in love with Alfred T. Watt, a medical student. Her mother, Bizzi Robertson, died suddenly in the spring of 1893, and while mourning her mother, plans went ahead for the wedding in December. By this time, Dr. Watt was practicing medicine in Victoria, and they were soon settled in their new home. Madge wrote articles and book reviews for the Daily Colonist paper, continued to write articles for magazines, and in general became part of the social life of the city. The Watts had two sons, Robin, born in 1896, and Holthe in 1906. Also in 1896, Dr. Watt had been appointed the chief medical officer of the quarantine station at William's Head. They relocated from Victoria to William Head and began a new phase of their life. Here they took great interest in gardening. Madge's roses are still well remembered, and parts of Alfred's apple orchard still remain and are cared for by Machosen volunteers. Laura Rose of Ontario came to British Columbia in 1909 to promote women's institutes. Madge joined Machosen WI and was soon appointed to the Women's Institute Advisory Board, serving as secretary. In 1913, a colleague accused Dr. Watt of not using the correct quarantine orders and procedures, and the issue escalated until Dr. Watt was called before a board of inquiry. Before the board reached its conclusion that Dr. Watt had done no wrong, he died. Madge felt she could not continue to live in Victoria, and at the invitation of a friend traveled to England, and she did so. Here she arranged for the education of her sons, now 17 and 7, and started to recover from her loss. England was now involved in the war started in 1914, and there was soon a shortage of food. Madge was convinced that the Women's Institute could address this problem. She persuaded those around her to try to establish the women's organization in England, and by 1915, the first British WI was formed in Wales. By the end of the war, the WIs had raised the self-sufficiency of British food production from 35 to 60%. King George V granted Madge the title Member of the British Empire for her work. The Institute was off and running. But Madge had yet bigger ideas to implement. There were numerous country women's organizations around the world, but they were all acting individually. What greater achievements could they reach if they came together under one umbrella? Between 1921 and 1933, Madge traveled, spoke, and persuaded these women's groups to come together. In Stockholm, Sweden in 1933, she was able to write on the blackboard, "The Associated Countrywomen of the World." Madge was elected the first president, a role she filled for 14 years. She retired in 1947 in Amsterdam at the first post-World War II meeting of the organization. She was 79, and late in 1948 she passed away in Montreal. Madge Watt has been honored in many ways. In 1923, the government of France awarded her the French Agricultural Award of Merit, never before bestowed on a woman. This award was given for her idea of an international federation of countrywomen. A row of lime trees was planted in her memory at Dammann College, England. A picnic nook in the International Peace Garden on the border of Manitoba and North Dakota was named for her. Flowering crabapple trees were planted in Beacon Hill Park, Victoria. And the Parks Canada plaque designating Mrs. Watt as a person of national historical significance was dedicated on the municipal grounds in Metchosin, BC. Today, on Founders Day, we remember and honor Madge Watt, who carried on Adelaide Hoodless's dream and became the main founder of the Associated Countrywomen of the World. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ruth, for that. I find it's important that we respect our founders' memory, so thank you for your presentation. We'll go on to our next presenter. Slide, please, Margaret. And we're honored today to hear from past FWIC President Marie Kenny, who happens to be our UN Committee Chair for ACWW. It's always a pleasure to see and hear from you, Marie, so please take the floor.
Marie, you might need to unmute yourself.
Am I there now?
You're there now. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and happy Founders Day 2021. FWIC President Joan, World President Magdie de Kock, Area Canada President Linda Hoy, Provincial Presidents, Sister WI members, and global friends. I'm delighted to be here with you as we come together today in this historical celebration. I want to thank you, Joan, you and your board, and the FWI staff for organizing and putting together this celebration today. It's been a wonderful afternoon so far, informative and delightful. Thank you for inviting me to share. It truly is a privilege and an honor to be invited to share a brief message today as we, the Women's Institute members across this nation, and indeed as we're seeing this afternoon across the world, coming together to remember and to celebrate the founding and formation of this tremendous organization. This new format, using existing technology, gives us an excellent opportunity to connect and to engage in conversation. I'm delighted to be here with you, and I can honestly say that I can hardly wait for the day when we can get together, coming back as sister members and enjoying each other face to face, sharing stories and experiences and dreams in person. One of my most favorite quotes has long been by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Go not where the path may lead, instead go where there is no path and leave a trail. As Women's Institute members, locally, nationally, and globally, we are journeying through a time in our history like no other. We are learning skills and doing things we could never have dreamed of even 2 years ago. We are holding AGMs and conferences on Zoom. We are becoming quite efficient at Teams meetings, FaceTime, messaging, texting, webinars, and so much more. We are connecting on devices. We are connecting on and working on devices that most of us would never have imagined owning, let alone becoming competent at using. These are changing and challenging times in our world. And yet, I believe this is also a time like no other where we need to connect. The need to connect is as vital to one's mental health as eating and exercise to one's physical well-being. The role of this organization is an important one today, if not even more important than ever before in our lifetime. As COVID-19 has brought about restrictions and self-isolation and fear, the necessity of family, friends, and community are more important now than ever before. As human beings, we have never were designed to live in isolation. We need each other. We need to connect. We need to feel wanted, to feel valued, and yes, to feel loved. We desire to have a sense of belonging, to feel valued, and to have the opportunity to share our gifts with others. This organization has given women that opportunity for over 100 years. This sisterhood of women supporting and encouraging other women has a rich history, and we need now more than ever to stand on that firm foundation and to move forward with a renewed vision and a revitalized hope. In this age of instant communication, we are now not just able to read stories about women around the world and wish that we could help them, but because of our international umbrella, ACWW, we are encouraged to reach out and to let our voices be heard, to be women who are fully and effectively participating in decision-making by being involved. At United Nations level, we are committed to holding global governments accountable for the health and welfare of rural women. The Associated Country Women of the World maintains consultant status with UN agencies, giving us access to negotiation and discussion with other organizations which other organizations cannot participate in. It also allows us to partner with other non-governmental agencies to raise the voice of rural women even further. As we know, a united voice elevates much stronger. The question that I am asked quite often is, what is ACWW's role with the United Nations? The simple answer is advocacy. Advocacy means getting support from another person to help you express your views and wishes and to help you stand up for your rights. ACWW works to advocate for your needs, views, and rights at the international level by negotiating at the United Nations for the inclusion of rural women and for the specific issues that affect them to be included in international treaties and agreements. Women are and always have been agents of change. We know what is important. We know how to provide for our families, and we know how to work in community. If COVID-19 has done anything good, it has taken us to a place to re-examine what is really important, what we really value in life. For myself, and I'm sure for most of you here today, we would say we value family, friendship, and health. Those are the pillars of our organization. Those are also the beaming lights that will move us successfully into the next 100 years of mentoring, supporting, and nurturing women to be the best they can be, and their families to the potential that they desire for them. The future is what you want it to be, but we need to be the change that we want to see in our world. We have the rich history, we have the knowledge, and I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have the leadership to stay strong and to cast our hopes on our highest dreams. There's a great quote, "Believe you can, and you are halfway there." From coast to coast to coast of our nation, the members of the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada are a driving force for positive change, for needed action and expected results. It will not be easy, but then, ladies, what in life that is truly important really is. The question is not, what can I do, but rather, what can we do together? Then, let's just go and do it. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create ripples, many ripples, and together all those ripples will create a wave of change, a wave of support, encouragement, and unity. The legacy we celebrate today, and we've heard wonderful stories and we've seen tremendous videos. The legacy we celebrate is because of one brave woman, her desire that no other mother, no other woman should suffer the loss and the heartache she had to endure. Adelaide Hunter Hoodless was a woman of pioneering courage. Sister members, friends, today we stand looking at an even greater future, facing challenges of injustice and inequality with the ability, the aspiration, and the commitment to speak up for those voices who cannot be heard, being the change that we want to see, remembering that in the big things of life, we are one. In closing, I want to remind you of a quote by Henry Ford. When things seem to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Ladies, we are stronger together. We must believe the best is yet to come and make it happen. The pages of yesterday cannot be rewritten, but the pages of tomorrow are blank, and you hold the pen. So I challenge you to make it an inspiring story. Thank you again for asking me to be part of the celebration, and I wish you all health and success in all your endeavors. I would also like to take this opportunity to invite you to join us at the CSW UN Parallel event, which ACWW will be holding digitally on March 19th. The theme this year is Rural Women in Global Citizenship. Please check out the ACWW website to find out time and information on how you can connect. It's important for us to come together like we are doing here today. Thank you again to everyone. It has been such a blessing to be here for this celebration. I look forward to hearing from all the presidents across Canada. You are all very inspiring women, and together we are stronger. Blessings always, and thank you for allowing me to speak this afternoon. Thank you, Joan.
And thank you, Marie, for joining us this afternoon. Your messages are always so special. Just the answer to my little trivia of the most northern Women's Institute branch in Canada is called North Pine, and they are in the northeast corner in British Columbia. They're instituted in 1935 and they're still active today, even though they are pretty social group and small numbers. But anyway, take a look for that. North Pine WI, most northern institute. But now this next segment will highlight our 10 provinces, and their information will be delivered by their provincial presidents. We'll lead off with the province of Ontario, and if you're confused by how they're listed, it's because they're being presented by their year of inception. So in that case, we'll begin with the province of Ontario.
Greetings from the Ontario Women's Institute. My name is Mary Shortt, and I am the president of the Federated Women's Institute of Ontario. While the pandemic has been difficult, WI members have found companionship and support in their branches through outside activities while walking and working together to improve their community, making meal kits for families of 4, and gift bags and tags for the food bank at Christmas, pillows and cases for women's shelters, creating gift boxes for shut-ins and those alone, giving cash donations to food banks, libraries, hospital foundations, and women's shelters, improving their communities with historical road signs and tourist attractions of the longest consecutive running women's institute in the world, fundraising with walk-in and take-out meals, at farmers markets selling dandelion jelly, replacing postponed events with online silent auctions, providing events for women, and crafting and having fun together. Local recognition of WI in February, and supporting women around the world. This has been a small snapshot of Ontario in 2020, and we are all looking forward to when it is safe to meet again. Thank you.
BCWI?
Yes. Greetings, everybody, from beautiful BC. As you can see behind me, I'm still living in snow, but it'll go eventually. It's so nice to all get together in whatever ways we can. I'd like to say thank you to the ladies of WI Canada for putting on this event. These type of presentations take a lot of work and effort, so thanks. I thought I would just give you a quick recap of what our members and branches have been doing in the past year during this pandemic. Some branches are not meeting, others are meeting by Zoom, and some are meeting face-to-face whenever they got the chance to. It is really nice to see that no matter what, we are all striving to stay connected in whatever way we can. Some members are walking outside together and just connecting that way. Many have been making masks. Some branches have had guest speakers by Zoom, and they have invited members from all over the province to attend if they want to. Community hampers for Christmas and for safe houses have continued to be done. Some members are baking and sharing it with each other, always a treat, especially if you're on the receiving end of that. Others have been making wreaths for workshops. Some have been taking online courses that they will take back to their branches when they can. And many have continued to do fundraising. So even during this pandemic, I mean, it's been wonderful to see that the WI spirit has persevered, and we continue to spread kindness to ourselves and each other. Very well done, ladies. I have a poem here I think I'm going to read, and I found this posted on Facebook, and it was posted by Washington Concord WI. So you're probably going to recognize it if there's any ladies here from that group. And it was written by Jan Taylor. It sort of says it all. I do not bake, I don't make jam. Can't remember the words to Jerusalem. I'm not too fond of drinking tea, more a glass of wine or a coffee for me. So what am I doing in WI? For growing plants, I have no skill. My knitting needles have long lain still. I couldn't invite you around to sup. I don't own a single china cup. So what am I doing in WI? My image of what I ought to be and be able to do was all wrong, you see. I don't fit the stereotypical frame of a busy and talented domestic dame, and yet I'm enjoying WI. I love the friendship, the warmth and laughter, the company, the underlying caring shown for one another, how I've grown to love being part of WI. I enjoy hearing speakers on topics various. Some are informative, others hilarious. I enjoy being one of the ladies who lunch. I've made lots of friends, so thanks a bunch for welcoming me to WI. So if you're a lady like me out there who thinks WI is not for her, just give it a try and you will see that it's well worthwhile. And then, like me, you'll know what you're doing in WI. Thank you, ladies. Have a great day.
Alberta WI?
Diane, you might have to unmute your mic.
Yeah, I have now. I guess we're going live, eh?
You
Greetings
ain't-
from Alberta. We feel we have much to celebrate here in Alberta. We've been a part of the WI since 1909. The famous five, Emily Murphy, Henrietta Edwards, Nellie McClung, Louise McKinney, and Irene Parley were Albertans. They were filled with vision and action, and they have certainly given us a trail to follow. Our branches support women's shelter, food banks, senior citizens programs. Many cancer caps have been made and donated to the hospitals. A pattern for leg bags was developed. Now, leg bags are a bag for the legs and for people in wheelchairs. And several bags were made and donated to the people that needed them, and they were very appreciative of these warm bags. We held our first virtual annual general meeting in this summer, and we had pretty good participation. We're still working on our technical skills. The council meets every 6 weeks on Google Meet, but we're not too worried because WI is a learning organization and we're still learning. Since we haven't been able to show our handicraft this past year, our handicraft convener has increased the number of items each branch can enter, and we will be able to enter projects from 2 years. Our current missions are to increase membership. That's my pet peeve. We hope to do this by having every member invite 2 friends. This would increase our funds and increase our membership, and we will be just fine. Our fundraising committee has a plan of recycling our bottles and putting that money into WI. Back to the handicraft thing, we are on Facebook and posting some of our handicraft items on Facebook. Have a look at that. Several members of our province have registered for that Unity or Friendship program a few years ago. And that is to host WI members to come into our homes. And we just love having you visit Alberta, and we would love to see you come and stay in our homes. We were really happy to host FWIC and Area Canada events in the past. And like I say, we really want to stay connected to our WI sisters near and far. On March 10th, one of our districts, District 3, is holding an event, and it will be virtual, and you are all invited to attend. And we are planning on March 21st to have a virtual painting night. So until we meet again, hello from Alberta. Love you all.
Manitoba Women's Institute is next.
Okay, this is Liz Chongva in place of Debra Barrett. I'm currently the president-elect of Manitoba Women's Institute. We just had a brief virtual get-together prior to starting with FWIC this afternoon. In there, we're showing a clip of our Minister of Agriculture who signed our proclamation for WI Day today. And he also congratulated the NBWI for receiving the 150 Manitoba Trailblazers Award. Also in conjunction with that, there was one of our current members on there who also received an award. Plus there were either former WI members that were listed in this. What we have done in Manitoba with our marketing group is we try and connect our WI members together by having a virtual session, if you want to call it chat session, where we this past one we had a speaker on with us. Otherwise, we have a topic we view a video. It's to encourage other members to stay connected with us. I should also mention in this past month, we actually gained 3 new members from different walks of life, that one of them is involved with another women's group. So it's encouraging to see this. And I say on behalf of Manitoba WI, to all WI members, wherever you are, here or globally, have a good, wonderful day. Thank you.
Prince Edward Island is next.
Carol, you might need to unmute your mic. Since Carol isn't able to come live, we're just going to play the video here.
Greetings from the Prince Edward Island Women's Institute. I'm Carol Jenkins, president of PEWI. Despite the pandemic, we are still working to improve lives in our communities. We have made masks to the value of $80,000. The majority of these have been donated to seniors' homes and long-term care facilities, women's shelters, the food bank, and to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, the Prince County Hospital, and Kings County Memorial Hospital, also including nonprofit organizations. We have donated $23,000 to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital raised by this project. We are involved in a program called Kits of Kindness. This is for children between kindergarten and grade 6. Kits are put together for children who need help with food on the weekends. PEI Women's Institute and friends have been knitting mittens to go to these kits to keep little hands warm on cold winter days. Our cooking contest for youth between grade 7 and grade 12 has been a great success and is growing each year. All recipes are made from island products. There are 4 categories: appetizers, soup, main dishes, and sweets. The month of February, we're involved in the 28-day campaign, Taking Care of Women's Business, period. Women's Institute donate feminine hygiene products. These are given to the food banks and they are distributing them wherever there is a need. Because we had to cancel Founders Day, we are having a contest to celebrate. Each branch is making birthday cards. They will be judged as a branch. These cards will then be donated to nursing homes to celebrate the residents' birthdays. We have 70 branches and approximately 1,000 members, all working for home and country. Thank you.
New Brunswick Women's Institute.
Sandra, do you want to say something?
I'm not sure if Angela had given a report or not, but I want to thank everybody for all the hard work you have put into compiling this and working so hard to make this such an enjoyable time. And many of our branches are meeting by Zoom or social distancing because they are small in number. We have lost a few branches, but there's just word this week that there's possibly a couple of new ones joining and forming new branches. So that's a great sign, we think. We had a project for making fidget quilts, which we donated to Alzheimer's, the handicapped in all different forms, the Autistic Association, and they were greatly appreciated. They were given, some of them at Christmas and distributed to the nursing homes. We made probably, I'm not sure the exact number at this point, thousands of masks which were distributed in the areas of the province. And we look after donating to food banks, the emergency shelter, the homeless shelter, or the people on the streets. And I really think that this is bringing many people back together, where we are basically talking more, even though it is on the computer, which I'm not good at, but we are enjoying it. And many of the people are getting closer in that they have to talk to each other for our sanity, some of us. So thank you so much.
Now we'll hear from Quebec Women's Institute.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. This has been lovely. Hello, ladies. Ms. Elizabeth Milroy, President of the Quebec Women's Institute. And it's so nice to be here with all of you. And it's so lovely to see everyone. A little bit of the history of our branch. On January 27th, 1911, the Dunham branch of WI was formed. I hope you can hear me. It was the first WI branch in the province of Quebec, with Elizabeth Ann Beach as president, along with Jane Brown as secretary-treasurer. Word spread fast, and it wasn't long before other branches opened up to what is now 13 counties, 28 branches with about 267 members. Mrs. O.C. Selby donated a small plot of land to the Quebec WI to erect a cairn to commemorate the founding of the QWI in Dunham. Every Remembrance Day on or near the 11th of November, the QWI has a special ceremony at the cairn to honor the brave men and women that gave their lives to the wars. Even this year of COVID, when there was no gatherings allowed, we had a small ceremony with masks and social distancing, lest we forget. In July of 2019, Micheline Dubois and myself planted a yellow rose at the cairn in Dunham to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the FWIC. In 2020, the rose was thriving and beautiful. It will continue to thrive, just like the Quebec Women's Institute for the past 110 years, going forward for home and country. Thank you. It's been lovely. Thank you all for this.
Thank you.
Now it's Saskatchewan Women's Institute's turn.
Hey, Virginia's on the phone.
Virginia on the phone?
She's on the phone. Can you unmute her?
Have we lost Kathy? Or is Kathy still on?
I don't know. Waiting for Virginia.
Okay,
I'm here.
Virginia was on the phone. Can you unmute her?
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Virginia. She's not listed by name, so I have to try and pick her out.
No, it's the number 306-272.
Thank you. There she is.
Is she not showing up anymore?
She is showing. I'm trying to get her to I'm trying to unmute for her.
There we go.
Oh, there she goes.
Okay. Hello, I'm Virginia Krekowicz from FWI. We too were formed in 1911. Because of the pandemic, we haven't done too much. We didn't have an AGM last year, but we had a board meeting last October. We again voted to stay active, and I agreed to make a quilt for SW for 2021 to meet our expenses. My own group that's the Briarmount group, needed comfort dolls last year and gave them to the local health center and the RCMP to be given to children involved in accidents or who are afraid of a doctor. It's kind of a comfort thing that you give to the children. It was much appreciated. I participated in some of these Zoom meetings and found them very informative. I will close now by wishing everyone a happy Founders Day at WI and stay healthy. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Oh, she made it. That's good. Now we'll hear from Nova Scotia Wins.
Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to bring greetings from Canada's Ocean Playground. Greetings are sent on behalf of the Women's Institute members of Nova Scotia in 34 branches from Cape Breton to the islands, struggling as many of you are to stay connected. During the week or month, each branch is deciding how to celebrate by continuing to support the needs of their own community. Many areas are fortunate to have great support of their local newspaper that have agreed to promote our institutes during the week. We continue to face the challenges of COVID-19, and our members have been inspired by each other to make masks and ear savers, try new recipes, plant a garden, and artistic writing. I'd like to recite a poem. It's called A Different Time and is written by Adelaide from Lakeville Women's Institute. The year 2020 was going just fine. The days were cold and snow on the line, when all of a sudden, before anyone knew, we were hit hard by a mother of a flu. March break was upon us when things started to fall. Coronavirus had arrived and could hit one and all. We all thought the medicals were off their beam when they told us we're in a pandemic, COVID-19. Premier McNeil and Dr. Strang talk daily of their plan. We'll close our border, keep 2 meters apart, wear a mask and wash your hands. Then came the closures, businesses both large and small, restaurants and pubs, schools and salons, it hit all. Lunch every day with Justin Trudeau was fine. The Liberals tried hard to keep us in line. Dollars for all, we're in this together. Keep space, stay masked, wash your hands, no matter the weather. Frustration set in when people continue to roam. McNeil clearly said, stay the blazers home. When groceries you get, watch the floor. Your directions are set, one way to the door. In one door and out the other, move right along the aisles, don't need people clutter. If perhaps you speed through the dairy, got milk but no butter, the return trip is pretty hairy. After 3 long months, a wee sign of hope. Some businesses reopened. Was it like before? Nope. People are still working from home. Our bubble is larger. To PEI and New Brunswick we can now roam. Schools are opening and churches are too, but wear your mask, be it red or blue. And COVID-19 goes on for many more days, and the normal we knew, will it be back to stay? I'd like to let everyone know that we also have another poem written by Joyce Morton of the Lakeville WI, and it can be viewed on our Women's Institute of Nova Scotia website. So in closing, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget to be kind. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Newfoundland and Labrador Women's Institute.
Hello, ladies, it's nice to be here.
My name is Elizabeth Young, and I am the president of Newfoundland and Labrador Women's Institute. In 1929, Newfoundland was hit by a tidal wave along the southern shore coast. Under the leadership of Lady Anderson, wife of the Lieutenant Governor for Newfoundland, the Service League was formed of volunteers to aid the people affected by this disastrous tsunami. Afterward, the group formed the Ladies' Jubilee Guild in 1935 to unite rural and urban women. These guilds encourage programs of social, educational, and service features. They became a proud, dedicated, vibrant, and colorful organization and part of Newfoundland and Labrador's culture. In 1945, they joined the Associated Country Women of the World. In 1951, they joined the Federated Women's Institute of Canada. The name of the guild was changed to Newfoundland and Labrador Women's Institute in 1957. The organization has responded to the needs of its members and people within rural and urban communities of our province from the beginning and continues to do so. They work on various programs and projects which benefits the residents of our communities. The branches have varied and rich history in our province. Each branch and district works and volunteers for projects and programs that benefit others and themselves. Their work ethic, concerns, and energy are to be commended, and as they meet the needs and the challenges to advance their areas. COVID-19 has presented many challenges and changes. The NLWI ladies continue to do their best to meet these challenges, and by being flexible and creative, they can be proud of their efforts as they continue to work towards bettering the lives of our citizens as they promote indispensable services and help where needed. We were working very hard for the 2021 convention of the FWIC, but has to been cancelled because of COVID and will now be done by a Zoom meeting. This is a disappointment to many of our ladies, but I would like to thank you and ask you to be safe.
Okay.
Joan, you wanted to say something here?
Oh, yeah, sorry about I was waiting for the, thank you, ladies, and Jonathan for the song. Everyone is doing a great job keeping the wheels of their organization up and running, and we have loved hearing from you. Keep up your good work for home and country. I must also mention the unsung members of our organization, and that is the provincial representatives. You have seen their names listed earlier, all wonderful, talented women, but I would like to sing out praises for President-elect Margaret Bile from Federated Women's Institute of Ontario. Her dedication, technical skills, and her ability to keep me on track are just wonderful skills and lets you know that our organization is in good hands for the future. Thanks for all that you do, Margaret. With that, I want Kathy to teach you another little trick from Zoom. There is a hand clapping button. Kathy, could you just run through everybody where you can show that to people?
Absolutely.
Because I would like everyone to give us give a standing ovation to all our organizations from across Canada and the world for a job well done over these many years. I want to see a sea of red. So let's see if we can find that clapping thing.
All right. So if everybody wants to take a look at the bottom end of their screen, at the bar at the screen, under the little button where it says reactions, there are raised hands, clap. There's all sorts of different ways of interacting. So you can take your choice on which way you want to interact. The first one is clap. And you can see a little hand that shows up on your...
Okay. I had red hands once upon a time. Everybody's clapping. We're patting ourselves on the back, but that's okay. We deserve it after so many years and putting up with this dreadful year of not seeing one another. So thanks for doing that, and thanks for showing us that, Kathy. I think we have to use that more often. So please remember where that little icon is. Okay, I'll wrap up the formal part of the program with a view of the Institute Ode. I'll just wait for Margaret to change that. Okay, and a musical rendition of God Save the Queen. Okay. Imagine Prince Philip, 99 years old, poor little man. Hope he has a swift recovery. But showing on the screen, we see a calendar of upcoming events. And I know there's a UK event guest who'd like to issue an invitation to their event. Alison Peake, would you unmute yourself and feel free to give greetings and elaborate on your special day for us? Is she still available? From the WI Wanderers in UK, is anybody available to speak on another little program? Anyway, if I would like Jill Copes to elaborate on the encaustic art class. You can see we have some really nice informative classes coming up, so take mind of those. Jill, are you available?
Yes, on February the 27th of 2021, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Irene Goot from Cecil Lake, British Columbia, is going to be presenting, and I've got a little bit on. She was raised in Switzerland and moved north to BC in 1995. She learned to embrace the quiet beauty of the land. It gives inspiration on her walks through the hills and the valleys of the beautiful Peace River region in BC. She always loved to draw and paint and is a self-taught artist. Once she came across encaustic, she took several workshops with renowned artists and learned a lot more about the process. To her, working with wax is relaxing, satisfying, fascinating, and sometimes frustrating and challenging, but she loves it. She works in encaustic, which is painting with beeswax, because she loves the versatility, the feel, the smell, and the vibrancy of the pigmented wax. She appreciates that nature provides her with this wonderful material. It has so much to offer, and if we look closely and take our time while being outside, one discovers a wealth of treasures. And the first 40 people to register will leave complimentary encaustic cards designed by Irene. So hope to see you on the 27th.
Thank you, Jill. The dates for these programs will be posted on our social media and our next connection issues. So I'm pleased to see that we've got lots of comments in the chat. So feel free to keep posting for a while. It's the only visiting time we have had for a while. So we'll just leave that on, and we'll respond to any of your messages, but we certainly appreciate you commenting. My goodness, there's the Wanderers. We'll have to get their connection going. What date was that again? I forget. Oh, there it is. Good.
February 27th, and there's a Zoom link. So if you'd like to have a copy of that Zoom link for the Happy Wanderer occasion, send us an email and we'll forward that on to you. Send it to info@fwic.ca.
Yeah, I take this opportunity, Joan, to thank you for your leadership and for organizing this for us today. This has been great. I really enjoyed it because I missed you all.
Yes, yes. And we miss you too. So hope to see you one of these fine days. Thank you, Linda, and your lovely pictures. We should have taken a few screenshots of us. That's all we've been having is screenshots.
Right.
Okay.
So,
well,
thank you.
It's available if
yes.
anybody wants it for themselves. So.
Oh, thank you. Yes, she has thousands of them. Anybody else got a comment?
Yes, I would like to thank all of you ladies for doing this. It was beautiful. I enjoyed it very much. So I just hope that you could hear my now that I have my headset. So thank you very much. You did a fantastic job. Thank you, Margaret and Joan and all of you ladies. And
you came
looking forward
over
to next
loud.
time.
You came over loud and clear, Elizabeth.
Oh, good.
I see you got
That's
your
great.
earphones. Good.
That's great.
You're very clear.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. I have to
Thank
leave you now.
Okay.
Right.
That's
Bye.
Goodbye. That wraps up our program for this year's Women's Institute Day. Thank you, my board, provinces, presenters, and most of all, thank you to the members and friends that have taken the time to attend and participate. I send to everybody a virtual hug to strengthen us in these difficult times. See you all next year. Thank you for that icon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
you for the heart.
you.
Bye. See you again.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Joan.
you.
And goodbye, everybody.
Good to hear.
Thanks.
See you
Thanks,
soon.
Magdie.
Thank you, Magdie.
Well done, ladies. Thank you. Good job.
Hey,
Love
you, ladies. It
was a great
meeting. Thank you.
It's been fun. It's been.
Thank you.
It was lots of fun. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Somebody should sing us out. Somebody should sing us out. I'll be seeing you in Apple. What's that song? I can't even remember. Shut up, Joan.
You had a great time.
What about so long? Farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
That's a good one too. Yeah, that's a good.
Thank you, honey. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, ladies from Guelph.
Bye, everybody.
Oh,
Bye.
great. Yeah. Okay. Happy days to you all. Margaret Yetman, good to see you.
Where's Margaret? There she is.
I saw her. She just. Donna Russet. Hi there. So many people, I can't find anybody. Oh, look at everybody.
Look at them all going. Yeah, there's Mary Derbyshire. Hi, Mary.
No.
Hi.
I know. Thank
you.
Oh, where's Ellen? Where's Ellen? I was
Margaret.
She was here.
I just saw her name.
Oh, yeah.
Margaret Yetman, unmute yourself.
Did you? Yeah.
A big thank you from New Brunswick.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. Okay, Margaret, I want to hear from you. You have Margaret Yetman. Slow.
Yes. There she is. Hi, Margaret.
Hello, Margaret. So
Hi,
good to
everybody.
see you. So good to see you, Margaret.
You had a wonderful
How have you
time.
been? Have you been good?
Do you realize how many you've had?
Over 200, wasn't there?
221.
I had 227.
Yeah, at our highest bid, 227.
Yeah, 227. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Oh, wow.
227.
Yeah.
I had 222.
Oh, it's
I saw
And we never had that many
227
women.
at the highest. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That was really very good. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it, Mom?
And we had very.
Yes, I did. I really hope that people will contact the office because there were some questions, but I didn't want to interrupt because the time will be exactly on the link, and it will be very easy for people to connect.
Yeah,
I wrote in the chat, Magdie, the email address for the central office. So hopefully, maybe we'll put that out there as well.
Yes, please. Yes, I saw you put that on. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Yes. Are you going to bed now, Magdie?
Yeah. Now I'm going to bed. It's almost midnight. Yeah. It is 15 minutes to 12 o'clock, so I say goodbye. Thank you.
Stay safe, Magdie.
Take care.
Bye,
Nice seeing you.
Lovely meeting you, Magdie.
Yes.
Bye, Lynn.
Joining us.
Bye.
Thank you for
Bye,
joining us.
Margaret. There I go. Bye.
Magdie, you should have spent the meeting in your pajamas. Nobody would even have known.
She wouldn't do that.
What do you mean? I dressed especially and I washed my hair and I put on makeup for this event.
And I'm gonna hand you over my fascinator to you, okay, Magdie?
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Good night, Magdie.
Sleep tight.
Oh, and there's Elizabeth.
Oh, there's Dr. Ellen Young.
Yeah, she's here too. Yeah.
Yeah, I see her right underneath you.
Yeah, she's there.
Okay. There we go.
She's
there
muted,
we go.
but
That was
she's-
good. Oh, that's great. She's there. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we did it. We did it, and we're glad. Isn't that the way? You know,
It went
so-
beautifully, guys. Everything
Good
went
job.
as exactly to plan.
Very
Yep.
Really good.
Very few glitches.
Yep. And the glitches were not actually, they were not.
No.
There are moments worth of work to get them cleared up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't get it on the Facebook. There was more work involved, and I had people literally pouring in, and that was the important thing. So because we have a recording, I'll put it up and then put a link to it. And if anybody wants to visit it virtually, then they can go and see it at Facebook there and rewatch the meeting.
That's good.
Thanks, Kathy.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep. Is Virginia? Are you still on? I see your phone.
She's muted.
Unmute yourself, Virginia.
She can't.
She can.
I don't think she can. I think
She
Kathy
can't.
has
Kathy
to unmute
has
her.
to do it. So.
Okay. Well, I hope her phone didn't power out. She must have a good battery. Oh, that's great.
Good job.
Well, and,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I hope everybody enjoyed all those presentations. I think Ruth was good, and Marie had a very special message, and Magdie, speaking very eloquently too, and so I hope everybody enjoyed that piece of history, from our museums and everything. So
I think that's
maybe
what
everybody knows.
I think that's what it is,
Joan.
but I'm sure each time we meet, we have to go over the same thing because there's different people that are in attendance, and 227 people. That's reaching a lot of people.
Yes, yeah, and and it goes to show that people are hungry for us, hungry for this, aren't they? Really, But
and I really hope that if we get that
anyway,
we can really develop further a lot of that history information.
Yeah,
we have literally tons of it sitting in the basement, and
sure,
we can't find half of it because it's all stuffed into boxes. So we need to get some professionals in.
Yeah, that's it.
Digitalizing.
Yeah. Oh well.
Kathy,
anyway, Kathy, thanks for your help. Sorry,
can you
go
unmute
ahead,
Virginia's phone number there?
No, I've got it. I did ask her to unmute, so the request to unmute is there. She just has to respond to it. So
she's on the phone.
She's on the phone. I didn't know how you did that.
Ask all to unmute. So just asking everybody at this point. So let's see if I can do this for her. I basically just asks me to unmute, as opposed to.
I didn't know how you did it when she spoke for the greetings.
Yeah, and she responded to it, and at the right moment. So I sent the request, and then it happened just at the right moment.
I'm surprised that those ladies from that UK group didn't speak up.
Well, half of them. I mean, there's 5-hour difference, so they're ready. They're ready for bed too. You see.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
If you have a chance to look through all the comments, there's lots of positive ones, but there were definitely a few dropping off good night.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So.
Yeah. I saw that, because I was watching the numbers dropping from 227 down to 199, so I knew people were dropping off, which is fine, like time dictates.
Can I just say I'm in the Wanderers.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Well, Alison Peake is the one that's organised it, and when you introduced her and said that she could speak, I went on the list and she'd actually already signed off. So I frantically got in touch with Carol, who was watching you as well, and asked her, because she's in the Wanderers, and she said she knew nothing about it as well. So I tried to get in touch with one of the other ladies, Teresa, and she'd already gone off. So I was a bit, because I could speak, but I couldn't really tell you anything about the actual cup of tea day. So I'm a bit in the out of the loop as well. But I must say that I came over to Canada 2 years ago and stayed with Beverly Ball. I don't know if some of you know her from, she's over near, is it, I don't know, Ontario, is it?
She's in Ontario, yeah, she's in Ontario.
And I stayed with her a night, and she actually took me to the Erland Museum, and it was fabulous. So I've been waiting all night for that to come on, and it came on, and it was off very quickly. So,
but you have to come back again.
I will, definitely. I actually have a friend who lives in Toronto, and I stayed a fortnight with her, and it was her that took me across to Beverly's place, and then I stayed with Beverly one night and then got the train back across to Toronto. So yeah, it was lovely. I did do Niagara as well. You have to, don't you?
You have to.
But, yeah,
well, if you get back to your group, tell them that we're sorry that you didn't extend a verbal invitation, but we hoped, some of us to attend time permitting. So pass that message on for us. Okay?
I will do. Yeah. Thank you for having me anyway.
Thanks for joining us.
So how late is it for you now, Shirley? What time of the night is it?
5 to 10. So it's not too bad.
Not like midnight for Magda.
Yes, that's right.
No, the poor thing. Goodness.
But then it depends what time you go to bed, because I usually, last night I didn't go to bed till 1 o'clock. So really, the night's young at the moment for me. But most people
That's me.
go to bed.
I refer to myself as a bat farmer because I'm up when the bats are.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Night owl, not early bird.
I was gonna. I had a few little fillers about what you talk about. The only time I stay up late is when I'm reading a book, because I love to read it. I was going to read this little passage here. It says, "In my dream world, books are free and reading makes you thin." So
I guess I better read some more.
That suits me to a T. Yeah, I know but unfortunately it doesn't. But yeah, that would be my dream world. reading makes you thin. But anyway, but
Joan, you didn't have to use
that. What?
Joan, you didn't have to use all your fillers, did you? All your jokes and all your dancing that you were, thought maybe you'd have to.
Luckily, we didn't have all the snacks.
On the table and dancing.
Yeah. We'll have to save that for another night, right?
another night. That's right. With the wine and not the water.
That's right. I have a mug that says, "Is it wine?" ?
Question mark. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nobody knows for sure.
I have a mug, but you never know what's in it.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah,
that sounds like the young people.
That's it. Elizabeth Young here.
Yes.
Jonathan, that little tune that Jonathan played. What kind of an instrument is that?
That was a push button accordion, which is very popular in Newfoundland, and Jonathan wrote that piece himself.
Ooh.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I was disappointed that he didn't do a jig for us.
Well, it was very difficult to find a jig that's not copyrighted.
No, but live.
For heaven's sake.
We thought he would do live.
Go to say something for next year.
Yes.
Okay. he was planning on playing live at the convention with a friend, and but that's out now. Yeah. But so the copyright is not quite the same. But where it was being televised and everything, copyright laws were coming into play. So we're having it.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. How come Linda could play Roger Whittaker? We didn't have to worry about that.
Maybe we didn't ask.
Maybe she. Well, I don't know.
YouTube. It was on YouTube, but it didn't ask for anything. So.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're not spending money, if you're not paying money for it, I don't think there was any issue, is there? I really don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Depends. There's a bunch of conditions that matters too. So, in the context of today, it probably isn't a problem. But because this is more or less considered like a private presentation, and we're not charging anything for it, so no one's making any money, so it's considered fair use.
Yeah.
If you're making any money on it, or if it was a public presentation that proper recognition to the artist should be provided, that's where it starts to get sticky.
Yeah. And the DMCA or something, Jonathan was checking with something or other with the DMCA and stuff like that. And so that was the problem. And so he said, well, Mom, he said, the only thing I can play is something that I know we won't get in trouble with. And he said, it's my own personal thing. So anyway, so he didn't know if he would want to delete it or not. So he put it in the video just in case. And he's rather shy over things, but he's
thank him.
Yeah, he's very meticulous over doing it the proper way.
Okay, Elizabeth, you probably...
Who was that man at the beginning?
I don't know.
Somebody that Kathy let in.
Elizabeth, you might have missed some of the comments while you were speaking that people were saying that Newfoundland's on their bucket list to go to, and I wish we could go to Newfoundland. So
yeah,
and I was right out there. I was hoping.
We're closed down here. Yeah, we're closed down here. I did ask right the head of the COVID stuff here, Dr. Fitzgerald, and she said that if the border opened up again and people were allowed to come in, they would have to put 14 days in quarantine before they could go to the meeting. And the most we could have, well, at the meeting now, at the present day, is 10 people. And it would be a maximum of 100, which wouldn't even pay. Yeah. It's sad because the ladies were working so hard and they were starting to get really on board and stuff, but maybe we'll try it again some other time.
Clinic will open at the IWK.
Dr. McLean on?
And through the month of March, those clinics will...
What is that noise?
Someone's got some background noise.
It's Ellen.
Oh.
Okay, well done, ladies. Bye.
All right.
Hey, Karen, did you notice the picture of the...
each other?
Along with Antigonish and Yarmouth. And on the 22nd of March, they will begin in Amherst, Bridgewater, and Dartmouth. MSI will be sending letters.
She's got her TV on or what?
So they can sign up to get the vaccine.
TV.
See you later.
Yeah, it's TV. So. Hey, thank you again, Margaret. So, thank you, Joan. So.
And everybody that helped make this thing happen.
I hope you didn't, Margaret, I put you on the spot, didn't I? But I just had to thank you.
But you know what? A big thanks goes to Joan. A lot of stuff happens behind the scenes that Joan does. Really appreciate it.
Kathy, can you mute Ellen?
Yes, I can. There we go. There you go. I wasn't sure if there was a point eventually for this to happen, or I just want to let it ride. But yeah, fair enough.
Oh, thank you for that. No, I wanted to put Margaret on the spot because she very seldom gets credit for all the work she does. So I had to do that. And I liked everybody clapping. Then that was why I had everybody clapping. So I'll have to use that, because we very seldom applaud anybody. So anyway, that was a good learning.
You guys are a good team.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Yeah, you're a good team, you two. So.
A mutual.
Well, you're part of it.
It's a mutual admiration society. Mutual admiration society.
That's true. Hi, Anya.
Hello, Margaret. I sent you a message. Your hair looks so pretty.
Oh,
I'm getting unstuck.
This is my COVID hair. It's getting really rough.
Mine. Now, ladies, do I get blonded up or unskunked? I say I get blonded up. My family says I get unskunked.
Well, I'm letting it grow out. So there we go.
I offered to send Margaret a year's supply of Lady Clairol, but she said that she was going to let it grow out. So there you go. I think we're all in the same boat. So anyway, I thank you, everybody, and we'll be talking. Yeah. So good night, everybody. And
good night.
Thank
you.
For all your help.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, hon.
Now, Jonathan, I can't see this too. Down here, is it leave? Okay, I got it.
Hello, all you lovely people. I can see you signing in from all across Canada, the UK, and a surprise visitor from South Africa. Welcome to our special program celebrating Women's Institute Day. It is my pleasure to declare this to be Women's Institute Day, February 19th, 2021, celebrating 124 years of service to home and country, and also to commemorate the 102nd year of Federated Women's Institute of Canada formation. Our Tweedsmuir histories have recorded many memorable celebrations, good works and tribulations over the past century, but I think the year 2021 to 2021, 2020 to 2021 with this COVID-19 pandemic will go down in the annals of our history. Fortunately, our organization is quick to learn, adapt, and move on, proving that adversity creates strength. It is ironic that change has been the theme of the last 3 triennials. Marie Kenny said, planting seeds of change. Linda Hoy said, making change count. And mine said, women inspiring change. Ladies, be careful what you ask for. So here we are, embracing new modes of communication, trying to carry on with our mission and mandate while staying safe and happy. In these daunting times, however, I feel that the isolation we have experienced with our members, family, and friends will eventually create a powerful need for our wonderful organization. Whenever we reach a new normal, soon, I hope. You are not here to listen to just me. My board, presidents from the provinces, and other guests have created a program that will give you a little insight on what makes us all tick, and also their chance to blow their horns. I will begin our program by reading our famous Mary Stuart Collect, followed by a rendition of O Canada. Keep us, O Lord, from pettiness. Let us be large in thought, in word, and deed. Let us be done with fault-finding and leave off self-seeking. May we put away all pretense and meet each other face to face, without self-pity and without prejudice. May we never be hasty in judgment and always generous. Let us take time for all things. Make us grow calm, serene, and gentle. Teach us to put into action our better impulses, straightforward and unafraid. Grant that we may realize that it is the little things that create differences, that in the big things of life we are one. And may we strive to touch and know the great human heart common to us all. And, O Lord God, let us not forget to be kind. Thank you. Oh, here's a surprise guest, a newcomer to our organization.
Hi, my name is Bizzi, and I'm thrilled to be here with you to celebrate WI Day. As some of you may know, I'm the mascot for the FWIC WI Canada project, Hearth is Where the Home Is. The project was created in April of 2020 with 2 purposes. 1, to connect members from coast to coast, and 2, to share what we were doing during the pandemic. We really appreciate the many submissions and hope you have enjoyed reading the stories from members from across the country. Though the submissions have been published in WI Connections or in social media, the committee felt a more permanent collection should be made. Plans are underway to create an e-book to make a lasting keepsake of our time during the pandemic. If you have not submitted a story, you can still do so by sending it to Judy at judyqwi@gmail.com. Watch for me in the next issue of WI Connections. Now, on to our celebration.
Okay, Lynn, give me the.
Okay, go, Joan.